Hey there, welcome back to Sea Power and welcome to this special operation. We are going to be moving through the strait under the cover of darkness, right into Turkish territory, where we will liberate some Soviet ships, use those to block out the strait by sinking them in shallow waters, and we're going to be capturing some coastal batteries. All of this under the cover of night, because we do not want to be seen coming in. To this end, we've been given a couple of different units. Over here we have 2 patrol boats. These are only armed with a couple of torpedoes and some 30mm firepower. That's it. We have a couple of units for air cover, but I'm not sure why. These guys are not actually sporting any armament. Might have been an oversight, might have been a bug. These MiG-25 Foxbats are only carrying chaff and drop tanks. So I really don't know what their job is. Maybe intel? We also have access to an IL-38. This one's already doing some scans and can be used to hunt down submarines. Maybe. I doubt we'll actually be using that. And we get access to a couple of MiG-23s in an air-to-air role. At the moment, there isn't a whole lot for these planes to do. We are using a couple of them as, I think, interceptors slash recon birds. That's most likely why they're out here. And we're going to fly right past the enemy positions. We can already see, well, sort of see that there's a gearing around here. And this gearing is using a radar emission. It might be alone, it might not. We'll have to see. As for the objectives, this is what we have going. We have to capture the Orthodox monastery. This also has access to some coastal batteries, which need to be captured. And over here, there are a couple of Soviet ships which have been arrested. We're going to free those guys, and we're going to sink the ships right here in the strait. That way, the strait's going to be blocked off, and we'll have this whole area right to ourselves. That's the plan. I don't think it's a great plan. I personally wouldn't go with that plan, but it's a plan. Alright, let's maintain speed flank. I'm not sure why this guy doesn't have his own objectives. There. We have some radar contacts here and there, but so far I'm not really picking up too much that seems to be hostile. This, however, I wouldn't be surprised if that is guarded by a couple of surface-to-air batteries. It's just that at the moment I can only see radar contacts small, and I can't really see what they are. Same here, there's probably a land-based radar site, but I don't know much. Even though it's only 4 miles out, we can't properly see it. A little later, I'm seeing an incoming missile over here on this MiG-25. There was definitely a launch flare here. We are spoofing the MiM-23. And that is probably not going to last for a terribly long time. So I'm going to floor it. I'm going to get the hell out of here. They don't have a fantastic range, but I'm not really eager to check just how much range they can get up to. So these positions here are both AA, as well as probably some coastal batteries there. Coastal arty sites. Even if you're kind of continuing on your course, just make sure you don't get shot down. That would be fantastic. Ow. We got hit by... yeah, we got hit by a MiM-23. Unfortunate. How are the patrol boats doing? We're coming up nicely. ETA 138, which is in about half an hour. Now this other guy, I want to keep him alive. Because they do have that nice surface search radar. Let's see, what's the ground-based radar? What sort of level of damage can they inflict on me? SAM site. Looking at the Hawk. The Hawk has a range of 18 miles. Which means that you, my friend, are very much within that range. Let's not go there. The gearing doesn't really have that many options to deal with this MiG-25. It's too fast. Alright, seeing as I'm probably going to lose some of these positions, let's mark them up. There are a couple of small slash meager radar contacts. So I'm not exactly sure what we're dealing with there. But the meager contacts could be a problem later. Okay, you can go back to cruise speed. Let's just have you safely go back to our territory. I really hate for you to get shot down. As we're about to arrive, we can see some lights out on the horizon. You can clearly make out the lights on the ships there. The question is, how is the state of the men? Supposedly the men haven't been fed in days, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to be very eager to get some revenge on the Turks, as well as some food in their stomachs. The other torpedo boat almost arriving at the Orthodox monastery, where we will find the coastal batteries. Not a moment too soon, because we have a gearing coming in at about 14 miles. I only have a couple of dumbfire torpedoes, 53-38s. These things run straight for 5.5 miles and then just impact and explode. If they don't find anything there, well, that's a good waste of a torpedo. There is also the issue of sink the ships here. I wonder if I'm going to have to sink my own captured ships. That way, I'm going to need the torpedoes from at least one of these torpedo boats, just to make sure I can get the sinking done. Maybe I can hit them all the way with the coastal battery, but I rather doubt it. So I'm going to have to at least reserve one of these torpedo boats for that particular job. Estimated time to arrive? 2 minutes. Alright, we're here. Let's kick off this circus. Let's get those boarding forces onto our ships. Let's see what other news this level designer has. The Special Forces fighters removed the sentries and freed the crew of the dry cargo ship Academic Szymanski and the fishing trawler Okean. Now it is necessary to lead the ships to the Bosporus and sink them in the fairway. This should hinder the enemy's movements for the duration of the landing. With that, we now have control over these ships, so let's get them going. What the hell is going on with you? You're getting hit by a 50 cal? 50 cal of what? What precisely is shooting me up here? This bastard here. Hostile. Engage. Look at him go. There we go. Our Special Forces group has successfully landed on Hebeladia Island and was able to set up an observation post in the area of the Orthodox monastery. The monks helped the Russian fighters by indicating a secret approach to the Turkish coastal batteries. The Turks were taken by surprise and surrendered without a fight. Outstanding. And now I have access to some coastal batteries. Very nice. Alright, what's the range on these boys? 11.9, so the gearing is just out of range. By a very small margin, but not for you. You're in range. Weapons free. Alright, you, my friend, I want you to turn around. We're going to prepare to sink our coastal, or our ships here. This thing is getting a little beat up. I really hope it's going to be able to get out. Should have taken out that little escort that they had there. Damn, that's going to take me 45 minutes. Ain't nobody got time for that. What's the status on that ship that we're shooting up? I'd say not great. Yeah, they're hurting all right. Not surprising after pumping about 1,000 rounds of ammunition into that thing. I just hope that my cargo ship's going to survive. Which it very well might not. I don't mind this thing sinking, just so long as it does it in the right location. Which is not here. We got one whole damage control team. Come on, keep the engine functioning. We need to get this thing going. The coastal artillery is also doing a bit of fighting. And we are apparently inflicting some hits, although not enough.
Engaging track 7014. Salvo fire.
You're probably not in range yet. No, you're going to go weapons free. The moment that you are going to be able to engage, please do. gearing isn't that heavily armed, right? It's mostly a gunboat. So, I could try and charge it with the T-145. Because I don't need to hold this objective. I don't need to hold it at all. Yeah, you guys have been hit. I don't really mind that. You can definitely take a hit, and I don't really have damage control anyway. So, make do.
Hit track 7028.
Is this thing downed yet? Not yet. Send a torpedo after it? Hold on, who's shooting that up? Do they have a coastal battery somewhere? Or is that one of... What precisely are you shooting, my friend? You're shooting at a course of 300. You're shooting up this thing. The adjutant. Okay, well that's been done. Target eliminated. This gearing is still going to shoot at the coastal batteries. By all means, let them. Not my problem. Oh, this thing got pretty badly beaten up. But they've controlled the flooding. I think we can make it out alive. Although it won't be pretty. In an amusing course of events, this QF 4.5-inch gun has taken it upon itself to engage not the gearing, because it's out of range, but the surface targets here instead. So it's knocked out the radar of the Hawks, which are around this position, one of which was directly responsible for shooting down one MiG-25. Not exactly what I thought I would be doing with coastal artillery, but they can do it nonetheless, and that does make this area a bit safer to fly in. I really hope that this gearing isn't going to chase me down, because if it does, it is going to really quickly pump these ships full of holes. Maybe I can jump it if I take up position here behind that position that I just dropped off the special forces in. The challenge is going to be to get close enough, fast enough. I'm not sure we can do that. The gearing continues to close the distance, and this is getting quite scary. Those 5-inch guns of theirs can very quickly sink the cargo ship and the trawler, and I'm not sure they'll pull any punches. So I really need to try and sink this gearing. I might be able to do just that. Because unbeknownst to them, right around the corner is the T-145. I'm only 5.5 miles out. If this gearing continues on their course, they're going to end up in a position roughly there. Which means that with my torpedo range of 5.5, I might be able to send a dumbfire into that group. Sorry, into that ship there. I'll switch this to light for a second. So I cannot read what it says there. Yes, I should be able to get them. The problem is they're dumbfires, so I'm going to have to really carefully calculate what sort of range and speed this thing is going to do. And thus, at what point my torpedoes are going to get there. Let's see, their speed is 20 knots. So in 15 minutes, they're going to be doing 5 miles. That. My torpedoes are going to be running at 34 knots. Doing 5.5 miles total. That's when they run out of fuel. So they don't really have that much time to get to their targets. I'm going to be traveling 5.5 miles. Let me try and calculate this. If I calculated this correctly, I have 5.5 miles at 34 knots, which means in 0.16 of an hour, I'm going to be going through all my fuel. So that is 9 minutes. I need to know where this thing is in 9 minutes. We know where it is in 15 minutes. So 9 minutes is going to be a little bit less than that. More math. This ship... the game's still paused, by the way. This ship is doing 20 knots. In about 9 minutes, it's going to have traveled 0.115th. Sorry, 9 minutes out of 60 minutes is 0.1/5 of an hour. 0.1/5 of an hour times 20 knots is 3 miles. So I need to find the position where this thing is going to be in 3 miles exactly. It's doing a course of 0.53. There. So this is where it's going to be in 9 minutes from now. if it maintains course and speed. If I send my torpedoes now, that should line up exactly. So I need to send my torpedoes right there. I'm going to send 2. 1, 2. If everything that I calculated is correct, this thing is going to get met by 2 torpedoes. I am not going to sit around and see if it actually will get there. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Because I might still need the torpedoes and or the gun to actually sink the ships in the strait. So we're going to beat a hasty retreat here. Let those torpedoes run their course, because I have absolutely no influence on those whatsoever. The Tu-145 says there's a torpedo inbound. I rather doubt that. That's your own. Alright, over here in the strait, we got 2 of our ships moving away. The Russian damage control parties absolutely astound me, because they were able to completely negate all the flooding. Whereas, if you get hit by a missile, for example, yes, it's a bigger blast, I get that. But most of the time, the ships simply don't survive that at all. Whereas this time around, they seem to be perfectly happy about the fact that they got peppered by 50 cal, they patched all the holes, and they're well on their way to the objective. I don't know, if it works, and let's not question it too much. I really wonder if this is gonna work out, this solution of mine. We lost the track. Doesn't mean the gearing isn't there. Doing 34 knots, course 127. Can you see the gearing? Yes, there's the gearing. This thing has to change course or speed by a fraction, and all of this will miss. Come on. They're still on a course of 053. Don't mark the, don't mind the position on the map. Just mind where the ship actually is. Oh, this is gonna get close. It's gonna get really close. The second torpedo might have a slightly better odd. Well, no, I think I'm gonna miss. The gearing passed it. Crap. Fairly decent calculation, but I must have been off somewhere. Oh, the ship's changing course. Yeah, that's also not helpful. Okay. Yep, torpedo ran out. The gearing is probably going, what the hell was that? Well, that was you very nearly escaping. And you probably didn't even have a clue that you were in danger in the first place. Head full. Let's get out of here. The ships are about to arrive. There we go. Good job, Commander. We managed to sink the ships in the narrows of the Bosporus. This will make it difficult for the enemy's large ships to move during the landing. There is a possibility that NATO command will regard this sabotage as our attempt to seal off the Black Sea and go into deep defense. But they're in for a surprise. Our landing is already on its way to the shores of Turkey. And I imagine that this is mission end. There we go. Really cool operation. This is definitely one of the better ones that I've done lately. I did lose a Foxbat and some captured artillery batteries, but if that's all that I lost, and they just lost the ability to send ships through the strait, I'd say that's a win. Even though the game, with its point system, considers it a Pyrrhic victory. Hope you guys enjoyed the mission. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I'll see you soon for more sea power.